What up, what up, what up, YouTube? What's going on with y'all? Back in again, trying to make sure that I stay consistent with this. Um Today on this rainy day, I want to talk about something that I talked about previously on this channel. Um just to bring it back up for the new subscribers and viewers. um Relationships. Relationship goals, how relationships go, um, things that aren't done about. Um, and basically, today we'll go over what I feel, in my opinion, should be the setup. Um, Keeping it 100. Number one, when it comes to being in a relationship, any type of relationship, you got to remember and you got to be thinking before you ever get started with all of that. Um, what are you looking for in this relationship or out of this relationship? I personally see that a lot of people, most people, they don't take the time to really get to know people that they have relationships with, from friendships, business relationships, romantic relationships, um, family relationships, mother and father and children relationships. Just because you've been around somebody doesn't mean you know them. You know what I mean? Just a day in the life in the city of Kokomo. You feel it. But doesn't mean that you know them. Don't mean that you know how they care, how they feel. You just may know things about them. So, first things first, folks need to have more conversations. Real conversations. Not the superficial, you know, how you doing, what your day been like, what's been going on. There's more. Like, I feel like if somebody is in a relationship with somebody, they should know certain basic things, like what that person's favorite color is, what they like to do with their time, how they feel about um, the economy and the world that we live in today, their religious thoughts and ideas, um, all of that. And you can't get to none of that unless you sit around and you actually talk about that type of stuff. One reason why, in the past, I was so pro marijuana because if anybody who's ever smoked marijuana or hangs around people who have, you know that when people who smoke marijuana are in a comfortable environment, they talk about all those type of things because their mind is going, racing, flowing. You know what I'm saying? And they just go over these type of things. It causes them to get to know people a whole lot better, be a lot closer to them. And the point is, in getting to know these details about people, is it makes it to where you know who you're dealing with when things go wrong, because that's really when you get to know somebody. It's not when everything's cool and everything's fine and everybody's having a good time, money up and all that. No, that's not when you get to know somebody. You get to know somebody when chips are down, things ain't going right, car don't work, got fired from your job, woman just broke up with you, whatever the case may be, child get hurt, you've been sick. That's when you find out if you got friends, and that's the truth. People may not want to hear that and may think that, that's short sighted and negative and all of that, but it's the truth. Because when everything's going well, all them details get skipped. Loyalty, honesty, respect. You got to worry about all that when everything's going good. Ain't nobody think about that until something goes wrong. Not to say that you're only supposed to have friends and relationships for using those people. The whole point and purpose of having friends and relationships is so that way you're not walking through life alone. You know what I mean? And that has nothing to do with having sex. It has nothing to do with using somebody. It has everything to do with the old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a nation to be one. You know what I mean? It takes the whole entire nation to be one for everything to go the way it goes and the results to be what they are. These cars and these houses and these roads and all these different things weren't built by one person. They were built by groups of workers and things like that. And you think those people didn't have some type of relationship with each other? Otherwise, things would have never went right. I mean, hey, take for example the Bible and the story of Jacob's ladder and how everybody spoke the same language and they were in such agreement on the idea that they wanted to meet God or see the heavens that they were being told about and the things of that nature that they built a tower trying to make it to heaven. And God refused to allow them to be that and get in that position. He broke up all their languages, changed all their tongues, made it to where they couldn't communicate with each other, hence causing the ladder to never be finished. You get what I'm saying? Because they couldn't communicate anymore. That's the key. Fuck all of everything else. It's all about communication, all about being able to get somebody to listen and to be able to listen and understand. And even if you don't agree, at least every human I know for a fact can find it within themselves to try to understand somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people would say, nah, can't do that. Like somebody like Charles Manson, man came up with a quote called everybody to kill themselves. Don't drink the Kool-Aid was like one of the little catchphrases after that event. But somebody like myself, I think to myself, yeah, that's some horrible, horrible thing to do and should never be done. But the reason why it happened, the reason why it was possible is because of the communication. This man was able to communicate with these people in a way that made their mind feel like these were the right things to do with their time and their life. Conversation rules the world. Money might do a whole lot. And being physical may get you a whole lot. But your knowledge and your ability to convey your knowledge to the world is what makes the world go round, what makes everything go up and makes everything go down. So for those who pay attention, kick a little knowledge, kick a little opinion. Think about it. If you so-called call yourself in a relationship with somebody, friends, family, whatever, how well do you communicate with them? What do you know about that person? If that person came up missing, could you tell the police where you think that person really was? What you think that person might have been wearing? And you ain't seen them that day. You ain't seen them in days. You know what I'm saying? Would you know any of their habits or their habitat? You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you got a friend that you know like to drink a lot, the person come up missing, chances are you can tell the police and those that are looking for them, and in your own personal knowledge, if you're out there looking for them, this guy's probably by one of them watering holes. He probably just went out and got something to drink. Come find out, he over at a bar somewhere laid out in the parking lot because he couldn't make it to his car. He was too drunk, passed out. Somehow, because you're his friend, you were able to think of that and get to him before he died. Imagine that. Or let's say, in one of my situations that I feel that I came up short extremely, I'm not taking the whole responsibility for it, but I am taking some. my nephew Cobra. I'll let these folks ride by. But my nephew Cobra, King Cobra, Icehead, literally killed himself. Didn't even make it to 18. Well, I believe he was 18. Didn't make it to his 19th birthday. I'm not for sure on that situation. But either way, way too young. Shot himself. And as an uncle, I feel like me and him both having a love for the game of basketball and boxing and music, I should have played a bigger role in his life. I should have been around more. I shouldn't have let so much of my personal issues in my own life keep me from going to see that young man, going to try to help coach him on his game and give him encouragement and show him that, you do have family members that will come see you, will come snatch you up and give you a good time or take you out of your environment. Obviously, he was depressed. Obviously, he had mental issues to a degree. Obviously, he had emotional issues to a degree. And if I knew him better, I'd have took the time out to get to know him better, I would have known that he was that sad, that it was that bad, and would have taken more precautions. I've heard about this in other people's lives. A famous life. Trying to think of the actor's name. Young black man used to be with the Disney Channel, and he did a lot of different TV shows and a few different movies. I remember his last name is Thompson, and he had depression issues. He had emotional issues and different things like that throughout his life. And because he was able to overcome and do his acting jobs and do well in different areas in his life, that made it to where a lot of people passed over the idea that he needed so much help, that he never needed to be able to have a gun in his hand, that he needed somebody on his line, on his phone, every day, all the time, trying to stay in contact and trying to be in his life to not quote unquote watch him, but to help when he needed somebody to talk to, when he needed an outlet, when he needed somebody to hug, when he needed a shoulder to cry on, somebody to tell that he's having these messed up thoughts and he's not feeling life right now, and he's on that brink, he's on that edge, and he needs somebody to reach out their hand and pull him back before he, ends it all. And he killed himself. And his mother was saying that, she didn't know that it was as deep as it was and didn't know the statistics, just the knowledge of the statistics of people with those type of depression issues and mental issues at that level. 1 out of 5 of people in that state kill themselves. 1 out of 5. That means 2 out of 10. Out of 10 people standing here that have extreme amounts of depression and different mental issues, bipolar, schizophrenia, different things like that. If you line up 10 of them, 2 of them people are pretty much guaranteed to kill themselves. 2 of them are pretty much guaranteed to kill themselves out of that 10. And imagine if you were able to be that line of communication for those 2 people. They might not do it. They might not let themselves get to that point. They might be like, nah, man, I can't do that, man. I can't. You know what I'm saying? My folks over here, they depend on me. They love me. They always there for me. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's basically my video for today. Not so much towards the suicide of things, but the relationships. I mean, we can go back and we'll go into the love relationship, sexual relationship, being in a romantic relationship. everybody around here wondering why there's so much divorce and why there's so many people cheating and why there's so many people not together and broken families and broken homes. Them folks ain't know each other like that. If they knew each other quite the way that they acted, like from the first time they saw them, that's what they wanted to do was have sex. So they did that. Now they got this major connection to the soul of having sex with this person. And whether y'all want to believe it or not, yes, every person that you have sex with, you are connecting your soul with them to a degree. You are exchanging energy with them. So, with knowing that, them folks ain't know each other. Otherwise, if they did know each other, they would have made the decision a long time ago of, nah, I don't like the way you do that. I don't like the way that's a deal breaker for me. I'm not with that. You don't act the way that I want my spouse to act, my people to act. And they'd have ended it. And that'd have been that. You know what I'm saying? That things would have changed the whole trajectory of their life. There's kids out here that are walking around that, I am not the type to say that somebody shouldn't be alive or anything like that, but let's keep it real. Some of these parents that got together and made these kids, they never meant to make them kids. They never meant to have them kids. They knew they couldn't handle them kids. They knew they didn't want them kids, at least not with that person. And it causes a strain on the whole entire relationship with the child because the two parents can't get along. They don't like each other. They got to separate the homes, and this child wanting both of their parents, but they got to deal with this parent with that parent and this parent with that parent, and they like bouncing from house to house and this event and that time. Birthdays, you got to go to two different places, and one parents talking about we gonna go out to Hawaii and we want to grab a child and go out there, and the other parents like, no, we got plans to go down to Arizona or some shit like that, and it's like the kid wants to go to Hawaii, but the kid also wants to go to Arizona, but you can't go to both places because your parents aren't together and they're the ones separating y'all. So even with that, you gotta think about that. You know what I mean? Like, if you knew that person better, y'all could have ended that relationship a long time ago. Been done with that, moved on, found out the people that was more fitting for the person that you are. Made a kid with somebody that you know actually wants a kid with you. That actually loves you for you, because of you, not because of your sex, not because of your money. None of that matters. They love your personality. They love being around you. They love your time. You're not going to get that, and you're not going to know that unless you get to know them people ahead of time. And then you know how to deal with them accordingly. So take note on that. Peep that out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share. Come check me out. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to keep putting this out. Got way more info, way more different things to talk about. Different things that we can try to build on as a human race. And, represent the city. Represent the town. K-Mo in the house. KJ the King. And I'm out.